The bullet tore through my chest like a freight train derailing in slow motion. And as the world blurred to black, I heard my sister Lila's voice whispering, "It's done. Finally." I died, choking on my own blood in that dingy motel room off I-95, betrayed by the one person who'd sworn to have my back since we were kids scraping by in foster homes. But death? It was just a reset button smashed by some cosmic joke. Because when my eyes snapped open, I was 28 again, gasping in my old queen bed. The alarm clock blinking 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday in 2018, the day before it all went to hell. My heart hammered like it was trying to punch its way out, sweat soaking the sheets that smelled like cheap lavender detergent from my crummy apartment in Philly. I bolted upright, hands flying to my chest, smooth skin.
No scar.
No phantom ache where the .38 had ripped through. Holy shit, I muttered, voice cracking like I hadn't used it in years. The mirror across the room showed my face, Esther Hale, pre-tragedy edition, with the messy auburn bob and the faint laugh lines that hadn't deepened into canyons yet. I'd looped back, reborn in my own skin, armed with every dirty secret from the life that ended me. Lila. That name alone ignited a fire in my gut hotter than the summer asphalt outside. My big sister, the golden child who'd clawed her way out of our shitty childhood while I played the loyal idiot, covering for her screw-ups. We'd made a pact in that group home, blood in, blood out. But she'd sold me out for a slice of the American dream, a dead husband's life insurance payout, and my unwitting role as the fall guy in her embezzlement scheme from the bank where we both worked. I'd taken the hit, confessed to crimes I didn't commit to protect her, and ended up rotting in county lockup, primed for her cleanup job. Now, I'd rewrite that script. Starting today. I threw on jeans and a hoodie, grabbed my keys, and hit the street before the coffee even brewed. The city buzzed with oblivious energy, commuters honking on Broad Street, the L train rattling overhead like it always did. But I wasn't the same Esther anymore. This version had ghosts in her eyes, a ledger of grudges etched in her brain. First stop, the bank. Not to clock in, but to arm myself. The Wells Fargo branch on Chestnut Street looked the same, glass facade gleaming under the morning sun. Tellers shuffling cash like nothing was rotten in Denmark. I slipped in through the employee door, nodding at Marla, the receptionist, like I belonged. Morning.
Asked.
Rough night, she asked, eyeing my disheveled vibe. You have no idea, I said, forcing a grin that felt like baring teeth. My locker was still there. Combination unchanged, 7-21-4. Our foster mom's birthday.
Inside.
My old notebook, dog-eared pages of client notes. Doodles of escape plans from this soul-sucking gig. But buried under it, the USB drive. Lila's little black box of sins. She'd begged me to hold it back then. Just in case.
Sis.
Family first.
Lies.
It held the proof. Forged signatures. Siphoned funds from high-net-worth clients. Over $200,000 funneled into offshore accounts under her married name. Hale vanished like a bad dream. I pocketed it, heart racing as I clocked in late. Screw the points deduction. Lila was already at her desk in the back office, perched like a queen bee in her pencil skirt and pearls, barking orders at the interns. Our eyes met across the room, and she smiled that perfect, predatory curve. Esther, you're alive. Thought you ghosted us. The irony hit like a sucker punch, but I played it cool, sauntering over with coffee in hand, black. 2 sugars. Her weakness.
Traffic, I lied.
Sliding the cup across her desk. Heard about the merger drama. Anything I should know? Fishing. Testing the waters. She sipped, eyes narrowing just a fraction, always the calculator. Same old. But hey, family meeting tonight? Mom's place. Been too long.
Mom.
Our chain-smoking excuse for a parent, holed up in that crumbling row house in South Philly, oblivious to the vipers she'd raised. Yeah,
Tonight.
where she'd first plant the seeds of my downfall, crying about debts and helping family. Sounds good, I said, leaning in close enough to smell her Chanel No. 5, same scent she'd worn the night she pulled the trigger. Wouldn't miss it. The day dragged like a bad hangover. But I used it. Lunch break. I hit an internet cafe 2 blocks over.
Plugged in the USB.
Files popped up like skeletons from a closet, PDFs of altered ledgers. Emails to her lover/accomplice. That sleazy lawyer from Jersey. Tim Reynolds. The one who'd fed her the offshore tip, then ghosted when the heat came. She'd killed me to tie up loose ends, framing it as a suicide gone wrong after I confessed. But the drive had backups, timestamps, IP traces. Enough to bury her if I played it right. By 5 p.m., I was back in my studio apartment, the one with the leaky faucet and view of the alley cats fighting over dumpsters. Rent was due in a week. I'd been 1 late payment from eviction even then. But priorities shifted. I called in sick for tomorrow. Voicemail would do.
Then.
The real work, printing docs. Hiding copies in a safety deposit box downtown. $50 well spent. Paranoia?
Nah.
Just survival. Dusk fell as I drove to Mom's. The old Civic protesting every pothole on I-76. South Philly hadn't changed, stoops lined with Italian flags. Kids kicking soccer balls in the street. The smell of cheesesteaks frying from Pat's. Mom's house was the eyesore, peeling blue paint, chain-link fence sagging like her spirit. Lila's SUV was already parked out front, a shiny black Escalade that screamed blood money. Her kids, twins, Mia and Max, 7 years old, were piling out, backpacks swinging, oblivious cherubs in a nest of snakes. I pulled up, killed the engine, and sat there a beat. This was ground zero. Last life. I'd arrived smiling, arms full of groceries to help with dinner. She'd hugged me tight, tears in her eyes, then slipped the Mickeys into my wine while Mom droned on about church bingo. Woke up zip-tied in the motel. Tim's cold eyes and Lila's .38. Not this time. The door swung open before I knocked. Lila, radiant in yoga pants and a cashmere sweater, pulled me into a bear hug. Asked, God, you look like hell. Rough week. Her voice dripped honey over razor blades. Story of my life, I quipped, stepping inside. The living room was a time capsule, faded floral couch, Virgin Mary statue on the mantel, TV blaring Jeopardy. Mom shuffled in from the kitchen, apron dusted with flour, her perm grayer than I remembered. Girls, my babies. Dinner's almost ready, lasagna. Your favorite. Mia and Max swarmed me, all sticky hands and gap-toothed grins. Aunt Essie, play Uno. Max begged, tugging my sleeve. After dinner. Champ, I said, ruffling his hair. They were innocent in this collateral-eyed shield, even if it meant dancing with the devil. Lila watched, that calculating glint in her eye, like she was already plotting the board. We sat around the scarred oak table, plates steaming, Chianti flowing. Mom prattled about neighborhood gossip, the Miller's divorce, Father O'Malley's hip replacement. Lila nodded along, but her foot nudged mine under the table. Signal? Last time. It was her cue to start the sob story. So, she began, swirling her glass. How's the teller life treating you? Still dating that barista douche? I laughed. Sharp and genuine for the first time today. Dumped him last month. Too much foam. Not enough spine.
Deflect.
Mirror her casual venom. Good riddance. She leaned in, voice dropping. Listen, I need to talk to you. Privately. After the kids' crash, Mom caught the shift, busying herself with seconds. The twins chattered about school, recess heroes and spelling bees. I shoveled lasagna, tasting ash. Every bite a countdown. By 9 p.m., the house quieted, kids tucked in the guest room upstairs. Mom snoring in her recliner to Wheel of Fortune reruns. Lila led me to the back porch, cigarette in hand, the night air thick with humidity and distant sirens. What's eating you? I asked, lighting up to old habit, borrowed from her pack. She exhaled smoke like a dragon, eyes on the chain link. Money troubles. Tim's business tanked, recession bullshit. We're drowning. The house. The cars. I need a loan. Big one. From work. There it was. The hook. Last life. I'd bitten, dipping into client funds on her say-so, forging the trail back to me. How big? $200K. I can pay it back double. Once things turn. Lies. All of it. The loan was the embezzlement kickoff. Her escape hatch from Tim's debts. I took a drag, letting silence stretch. That's felony territory. Lila. You know that. Her laugh was brittle glass. Family, right? We've always covered. Remember 98, when I totaled Dad's truck? You took the blame. Yeah, I remembered. And the foster beatings that followed. This is bigger than joyrides. What's the collateral? Collateral? She flicked ash.
Scoffing.
My word. Yours too. I met her gaze. The porch light casting shadows that made her look like the stranger she was.
No.
The word hung there, simple as a guillotine. Her face crumpled, shock, then fury flashing like heat lightning. What the fuck? Esther? After everything? Everything. I stood, voice low, venom seeping. Like how you let me rot in juvie at 16 for your shoplifting spree. Or the abortion you pinned on me to Mom. Yeah. Everything. She recoiled, cigarette dropping to the boards. That was survival. We're blood. Blood's thicker than water. I echoed our old mantra. But it spills easy. I turned for the door.
Pausing.
Figure it out yourself.
Sis.
I'm done being your shield. Her hand shot out, grabbing my wrist, nails digging like claws. You can't just walk. We need this. I twisted free, the motion fluid from muscle memory I didn't have yet. Watch me. Inside. I kissed Mom's forehead, whispered goodnight to the kids through the door. Lila's glare burned holes in my back as I left, but she didn't follow.
Not yet.
Driving home, rain starting to spit on the windshield, I felt the first real thrill. This wasn't just survival, it was war. And I'd just fired the opening shot. End of file 1. The next morning, My phone blew up before dawn. 6 missed calls from Lila. 3 voicemails escalating from pleading to pissed. Esther.
Pick up.
We need to talk. Delete. You're being selfish. Think of the kids.
Trash.
If you don't help, I swear. The last one trailed into static. Her breath ragged like she'd run a marathon in heels.
Good.
Let her stew. I ignored it all. Hitting the gym instead, Planet Fitness on passing. The one with the lunk alarm for gruntas. Last life. I'd skipped weights for overtime shifts. This time, I deadlifted 135 like it was therapy, channeling rage into reps. Sweat poured, muscles screaming, but it cleared the fog. By 8 a.m., I was showered, caffeinated, and at the bank early volunteering for the audit team. Subtle sabotage. I'd flag anomalies in the system. One's pointing straight to her desk. Marla raised an eyebrow as I signed in. Sick yesterday. Wonder Woman today.
Spill.
New year. New me. I quipped.
Dodging.
Truth was, I had a plan sketched on a napkin from the diner. Step 1. Document everything. Step 2. Anonymous tip to internal affairs. Step 3. The fun part, turning her web against her. Lila arrived at 9:15. Makeup flawless, but eyes red-rimmed. Like she'd chain-smoked the night away. She avoided my station. But I caught her whispering with Tim on a client call, his voice tinny through the receiver. All Jersey drawl and false charm. Babe. Hale's got it handled.
Just play nice.
If only he knew. Lunch was a stakeout. I tailed her to the park across from the Liberty Bell, watching from my car as she paced, phone glued to her ear, gesturing wildly. Tim.
Probably.
Arguing over escape routes. Last life. He'd been the architect, lawyer by day, con by night, convincing her I was the weak link to sever. This time, I'd loop him in early. A burner phone from the corner store, $20 prepaid, and a text to his office line, Lila skimming. Proof incoming. Back off or you're next. A friend. Her head snapped up mid-rant, scanning the benches like she felt eyes. Paranoid already.
Perfect.
Afternoon dragged with teller drudgery, counting 20s, smiling at soccer moms, but I thrived on the edge. A client, Mrs. Kowalski, the Polish widow with the trust fund, came in for a withdrawal. Last time, Lila had drained her account dry, blaming market dips. I pulled her aside, voice low. Mrs.
K.
Your balances look off. Want me to run a full audit? No charge. Her watery eyes lit up. Bless you, Esther. These banks. Thieves in suits. Not on my watch, I murmured, printing the discrepancies. Seed planted. By close. I'd emailed HR anonymously, Wells Fargo's tip line. Untraceable from the cafe Wi-Fi, with the first batch of USB files. Suspected fraud. Loan officer Lila Hale. See attached. Home by 7. I crashed with takeout pho and a 6-pack, Yangling. Local pride. The USB backups burned a hole in my laptop bag. But I held fire. Let the ants crawl first. Friday hit like a hangover. Lila cornered me in the break room, coffee pot in hand like a shield. We need to talk.
Now.
The room smelled of burnt Folgers and microwave popcorn. I poured slow.
Casual.
About. Don't play dumb. Her whisper was hiss. The audit flags. Tim's getting weird calls. What the hell are you doing? I sipped, scalding my tongue, pain to match the burn in my chest. Me? Nothing. Maybe karma's catching up. Her slap came fast, palm cracking against my cheek like thunderclap. I tasted copper, but didn't flinch. You bitch. After I protected you all these years.
Protected?
The word ignited flashbacks. Her pimping me out to her dealer boyfriend at 18 for rent money. Me waking bruised and broke. Protected, I echoed. Voice ice. Like when you framed me for the ODs. Yeah. Real sisterly. She paled, stepping back. That was. Save it. I rubbed my cheek, already swelling. HR's gonna love this. Assault on the floor. You wouldn't, but her eyes said she knew I would. She bolted, heels clicking fury down the hall. By noon, security escorted her out. Temp leave. Pending investigation. The branch buzzed, whispers of embezzlement, suspension. Marla shot me a thumbs up from her desk. About time someone grew a spine. I nodded. But inside, elation mixed with nausea. This was just the appetizer. That night, Mom called, voice quivering. Esther, what's this about Lila? Police at the door. Stay out of it. Mom. Harsh, but necessary. She dug her own grave. Silence. Then a sob. You girls. Always fighting. Not fighting. Finishing. I hung up, gut twisting. Mom was collateral, her heart meds, her denial. But Lila's poison ran deep, ignoring it had killed me once. Saturday, I drove to Jersey, Tim's firm in Newark, a glass tower off the turnpike. Posed as a client, hail referral. Divorce consult. His secretary waved me in. All smiles. Tim Reynolds looked the same. Slicked hair. Rolex glinting. Smile like a used car salesman. Mrs.
Oh.
Smith, I said, settling into the leather chair. Lila's sister. Heard you're good with messy family matters. His brow furrowed, but he leaned in. How can I help? I slid a folder across, printouts from the USB, redacted just enough. By confessing. Or I go public. Feds love tax dodgers. He flipped pages. Color draining. This is blackmail. Revenge, I corrected.
Standing.
Lila's done. You're next unless you flip. Testify against her. And maybe you skate. He lunged, grabbing my arm. Echo of her slap. You crazy? I'll bury you. I twisted free. Knee connecting with his groin, self-defense class I'd remembered to take this week. He wheezed.
Crumpling.
Try it. I've got recordings. Out the door. Pulse thundering. I hit the stairwell, no cameras.
Clean getaway.
Back in Philly. Rain hammered the city like judgment. Lila's text flooded. You fucking traitor. Think of the twins. Mom's in the hospital, stress. Bullshit. I blocked her, poured a whiskey neat, and toasted the mirror. To round two. Esther. Play dirty. But sleep evaded. Ghosts whispering. Was this justice or just trading one monster for another? The line blurred. And I liked it that way. Sunday brunch at Mom's turned into an ambush. I pulled up to the row house. Wipers slapping rhythmically against the downpour. Spotting Lila's Escalade idling like a predator. Her? Here? After the shit show Friday? Ballsy. Inside. The air was thick with cigarette haze and unspoken nukes. Mom hovered by the stove, flipping pancakes with shaky hands, her muumuu stained from too many spills. Esther. Honey.
Seek. Eat.
Lila lounged at the table, twins on either side coloring placemats, crayons scribbling over faded Easter prints. She looked wrecked, hair limp, mascara smudged, but her eyes, steel traps, locked on me. Family meeting, she said, voice syrup over shards.
Seat.
I slid into the chair opposite, pouring syrup slow, deliberate. Mia beamed up. Aunt Essie.
Look.
I drew a castle. Gorgeous.
Kiddo.
I ruffled her curls, throat tight. They didn't deserve this battlefield. Mom set plates down, retreating to her stool like a referee dodging punches. Girls, no fighting today. Church tomorrow. Father O'Malley says forgiveness is key. Forgiveness, Lila echoed, forking a bite. Like you forgiving me for everything. Asked, or is this your big fuck you? The twins froze,
Sensing the shift. Moksh's lip quivered.
Mommy, nothing. Baby. Adult talk. But her glare screamed volumes. I chewed slow, tasting nothing. Not forgiveness. Lila. Accountability. You steal from widows? Frame your sister? That's not family, that's felony. Mom gasped, cross-clattering to the linoleum. Steal? Lila. What? It's lies. Lila slammed her fork, syrup splattering. She's jealous, always has been. My house. My kids. My life. Now she's sabotaging me at work. The hook twisted. Last life. This was her play. Paint me the villain. The bitter spinster envious of her nuclear bliss. Mom had bought it hook,
Line.
sinker, testified against me in the sham trial. But not today. I pulled the USB from my pocket, sliding it across like a gauntlet. Watch it.
Mom.
All of it. Then decide who's lying. Lila snatched it, face twisting. You crazy? That's mine. Yours. Mom's voice wobbled, reaching for her rosary beads. What's on it? Lila, tell me straight. Nothing. Work files. Boring shit. But sweat beaded her forehead, betraying the bluff. I stood, calm as a storm eye. Lila's loans from clients. Forged docs. Offshore wires. I covered once, took the fall. Bone again. The twins whimpered, Mia clutching her crayon like a lifeline. Aunt Essie bad?
No.
Sweetie. My voice cracked, first real fracture. Mommy made bad choices. Lila lunged across the table, nails raking my arm, 3 bloody trails. You poisoned them against me? Over what? Your pathetic life. Pain flared, but I grabbed her wrist, twisting just enough. Let go. Or cops get the 911 call. She released, collapsing back, tears streaming, crocodile rivers. Esther.
Please.
The kids. Tim's gone.
Took the money and ran.
I need you.
Tim.
The text had worked his firm's website down. Emergency closure. Good riddance. Mom snatched the drive, hobbling to her ancient desktop in the den. I see for myself. The whir of the fan filled the silence, rain drumming the roof like applause. Minutes stretched eternal. Lila rocked the twins, cooing lies. I bandaged my scratches in the bathroom mirror, staring at the woman I'd become, harder, sharper, a blade forged in betrayal's fire. Mom emerged, face ashen, drive clutched like contraband. Lord have mercy. Lila. How could you? It's not, Lila started, but Mom's slap cut her off, echo of generations.
Out.
Take your babies and go. I can't. Sobs choked her. Lila rose, gathering the kids like luggage.
Mia wailed.
Grandma. But Mom turned away, whispering Hail Marys. I scooped Max up, his small body trembling. It's okay,
Buddy.
Aunt Essie's got you. At the door, Lila paused.
Venom pure.
This isn't over. Esther. You think you win? I'll burn it all down with you in it. Try, I said, door slamming behind her. The lock clicked like finality. Mom collapsed on the couch, me holding her as she wept.
Why, Esther?
Why us? Greed, I murmured, stroking her hair. But it's done. Not done. Monday morning. The bank erupted, FBI in suits, badges flashing, hauling boxes from Lila's office. She was arrested at home, PJs and all. Splashed across 6 ABC News. Local banker busted for multi-million fraud. Tim, too. Extradited from Atlantic City. His empire crumbling like sandcastles. I watched from my teller window, anonymous in the chaos. Marla high-fived me. Heard you tipped him off. Hero shit. Just doing my job. I lied. But the weight lifted a stone from my chest. Mom called that night. Voice steadier. Kids with me. Lila. In holding. Says she wants to see you. Tell her no.
Pause.
But the twins anytime. Tuesday brought the fallout. Severance for the branch. Promotions floated my way. I quit instead, clean break. Rolling the dice on a PI gig. Using my nose for bullshit. New life. New rules. But Lila's trial loomed. 6 months out. Subpoena arrived Thursday. Witness for the prosecution. I'd testify. Lay it bare. The betrayal. The bullet. The rebirth no one believed but me. Friday night. Alone in my apartment, now sublet free. Deposit returned, I poured whiskey, toasting the ghosts. To second chances. The knock came at midnight. Fists, not knuckles. I peered through the peephole, Lila, disheveled, rain-soaked, eyes wild. Open up. Esther, we need to talk. Heart slamming. I unchained the door. Bail. Tim's sleaze of a partner. She pushed in, dripping on my rug. You happy now? My life's ruined. Yours, I said, blocking her path. Not mine. She laughed. Manic.
Oh.
It's yours too. Remember the safe deposit?
Joint.
My cut's half yours, embezzled funds. Traced. Bluff. Or trap. Last life. She'd cleaned it post-mortem. Prove it. Her grin turned feral, pulling a key from her pocket, matching mine. Already did. Cops think you masterminded. Accomplice. Ice in my veins. Twist. She'd flipped the script, planting evidence in the chaos. You bitch. But admiration flickered. Worthy foe. She advanced. Hands empty, but intent clear. Family?
Asked.
Till the end. I sidestepped, grabbing my phone. 911 queued. Ends now. Struggle blurred. Her nails. My elbow. The crash of the lamp. She pinned me, breath hot. For the kids. For yours, I gasped. Knee rising, impact. Her crumple. Sirens wailed distant. I stood over her, heaving. The line crossed. Cops burst in minutes later. Anonymous tip. My burner. Lila cuffed. Spitting curses. She did it. All her. But the USB. My testimony. The audits, they stuck. Accomplice charge?
Dropped.
Her life. No parole. Weeks later. Trial wrapped. I walked free. Mom's porch swing my throne. Twins giggling at my feet. Aunt Essie. Tell the castle story. Once upon a time, I began. Voice steady. A queen fought dragons. Reborn. Unscarred. Victory tasted like rain-washed streets. Bitter.
Clean.
Months blurred into a fragile normalcy. The kind stitched from bullet holes and bail bonds. Philly autumn painted the Schuylkill gold, leaves crunching under my boots as I jogged the towpath, exorcising demons with every stride. The PI license came through, hail investigations, a nod to the name I'd reclaim, not the sister who'd tainted it. First client, a jilted wife tailing her hubby to Atlantic City dives. Easy money. Cathartic shadows. Mom thrived in the quiet, Lila's absence a vacuum she'd filled with bingo nights and twin sleepovers. Mia and Max called me hero aunt, their drawings now of caped figures slaying mean witches. Freudian. But I'd take it. Holidays loomed. Thanksgiving. Turkey and tension-free for once. But Lila's appeals gnawed, letters smuggled from SCI Muncie. Scrawled in pencil nubs. Esther.
They're lying about me. Help.
Blood. I burned them in the sink, watching flames lick the lies. Tim's trial folded faster. Plea deal. 10 years federal for wire fraud. His partner? Ghosted to Costa Rica. But Interpol had his scent. November chill bit as I prepped for Turkey Day. Mom's house. Extended family orbiting. Aunt Rosie from Delaware. Cousins with their broods. I'd bring pie, apple. From reading terminal. Crust flaky as forgiveness.
En route.
Radio crackled. Breaking. Inmate escape from Muncie Women's. Suspect armed. Considered dangerous. Lila Hale. 35. Wanted for. Brake screeched. Civic fishtailing into a hydrant. Water geysered. But I was already dialing Mom.
Locked doors.
Lila's loose. Her voice trembled. The kids. Safe. I'm coming. Sirens wailed citywide. Choppers thumping overhead like war drums. I ditched the car. Too traceable, hailing a cab through gridlock. South Philly. Fast. Driver eyed the dash cams. You nuts? Roads refucked. Triple fare. Money talked. We weaved alleys. Horns blaring symphony. Mom's block was cordoned. Blue lights pulsing. I flashed ID, consultant creds from the bank case. Family inside. Cop waved me through. Rifle slung. Clear so far. Stay low. Door ajar. I slipped in, heart jackhammering. Mom, kitchen light flickered. Pie cooling on the sill. Then, the creak, stairs. Footsteps.
Deliberate.
Esther. Lila's voice. From the shadows. No gun, policy breach, but a kitchen knife glinted. Mom's carving blade. She emerged, gaunt in orange jumpsuit hacksawed at cuffs. Hair matted.
Eyes fever bright.
Surprise. Mom?
Kids.
Tied up. Cozy. She twirled the knife. Casual as a baton. You're doing appeal hearing. Guard bought off. Tim's last gift. Escape. The twist I'd half feared. What now? Slice and dice for ratings. Laughter. Hollow. Tempting.
But nah.
Leverage. You testify recant. Coerced. Sisterly love. We walk. Split the pot. Pot sash. I edged left. Toward the drawer, pepper spray. Stocked post-rebirth. She lunged. Knife arcing, slash. Not stab. Fabric tore. Arm stinging. Stay. I dodged. Counter with elbow, crack to her wrist. Knife skittered. Embedding in the fridge door. We grappled. Bodies slamming counter, plates shattering. Pie splattering like abstract gore. You're weak, she hissed. Knee to my gut. Air whooshed out. Stars burst. Learned from you. I headbutt. Nose crunching, hers. Blood spraying. She reeled, but recovered feral. Nails gouging my cheek. Old wounds reopening. For betraying me, I built this house.
Kids.
Life. You were nothing. Nothing. Vision blurred. But truth surged. I was your scapegoat. The hits you dodged. The sins you pinned. Dead because of you. Confession hung. Her eyes widening, recognition? Or madness?
You.
Knew. Always. The loop. The bullet unspeakable.
But raw.
Rage ignited, she charged blind. I sidestepped, her momentum hurling her into the island, head cracking marble.
Thud. Still.
I panted, dialing 911 anew. Intruder down. Send medics. Cops swarmed, uncuffing mom and kids from the basement. Gags loose. Tears flowing. Mia buried in my neck. Scary mommy. Over. Baby. But as they loaded Lila, concussed. Snarling curses, I wondered. Was it? Trial 2. Escape charges piled like indictments. She pled insanity, abused childhood, delusional sister rivalry. Psych eval? Borderline. But calculated. Jury saw through. Sentence doubled. Supermax transfer. Christmas came soft, tree lights twinkling in mom's window. Twins ripping gifts, Barbies for Mia, Legos for Max. I gifted them lockets, our initials engraved. E.
M. M.
Family forever. Mom pulled me aside. Eggnog steaming. Proud of you, Esther. Strong now. Learned the hard way. Kiss on cheek. Her perm tickling. New Year's. I stood on the Ben Franklin Bridge. Winds whipping. City sprawl glittering below. Fireworks boomed. Resolutions unspoken. Rebirth wasn't magic, it was grind. Grudges forged into grit. Case closed?
Nah.
Lila's letters resumed. Therapy scrawls. I'm sorry, inked tentative. I filed them. Unread. Forgiveness? Maybe someday.
For now.
Survival sufficed. Spring bloomed. My PI shingle swinging. Clients trickled. Cheating spouses. Missing heirs. One case echoed too close. A banker widow. Funds vanished. I cracked it wide. Junior exec. Family ties. Payback's echo. Lila's final appeal denied. Life. Full stop. Her last note. Twins ask for you. Be better than me. I visited once. Plexiglass between. She looked small. Orange jumpsuit swallowing. Esther. Sis. Neutral ground. Forgive. Not yet.
Pause.
But the kids. Always. She nodded. Tears tracing. I broke us. You did.
Truth.
Unvarnished. But I rebuilt. Guard tapped, time up. Walking out. Sunlight hit like absolution. Not happy ending, too American gritty for that. But closure? Close enough.
Years on.
I'm 40 now, gray threading auburn. Laugh lines earned. Twins hit teens. Mia's a firebrand debater. Max codes apps in his room. Mom past gentle. Heart full at 85.
Me?
Hale Investigations thrives. Billboard on 76. Uncover the truth. Lila? Faded echo. Parole whispers denied yearly. Reborn isn't perfect. It's pointed. And in this second spin, I aimed true. The call came on a muggy July afternoon. 3 years post-escape. My office, a converted garage in Fishtown, exposed brick. Coffee pot perpetually brewing. Case files stacked like Jenga. Caller ID. Unknown Philly. I picked up. Habit over caution. Hale Investigations. Esther. A man's voice. Oily with Jersey vowels. Tim Reynolds. Remember me? Ice water in veins. Tim, out on good behavior. Federal Times shaved for cooperation. I'd tracked his release. Low profile in Newark. What? Business. Lila sends regards. Laughter. Like gravel.
Kidding. She's
Unavailable. State your piece. I glanced at the window. Curtains drawn. .38 in the desk drawer. License now. Her appeals.
Iuburid em Jeep.
But I've got dirt, real dirt. On you. Bluff. Or not. Post-trial leaks. Whispers eyed manipulated evidence. Vindictive sibling. Tabloids nibbled. Sister Slayer. Philly's femme fatale? Come at me, I said. Voice steel. I've got nothing to hide. Everyone does.
Click.
That night. Sleep fractured, dreams of bullets. Lila's knife glint.
Dawn.
I drove to Muncie, 2-hour haul up I-81. Cornfields blurring to bars. Visit request approved. Curiosity. Not closure. Lila at the table. Thinner. Tattoo creeping from sleeve. Prison ink. Roses and thorns. Tim. Heard.
Her smile wry.
Slippery fucker. What's he want? Blackmail. You? She leaned in. Plexi fogging breath.
No. But.
Remember the safe deposit? Not bluff. Keys yours. Box 472. First Union downtown. Open it. Why? Twist. Eyes gleamed. Old fire. Insurance. Against him. Against me. If I flipped. Suspicion coiled. But truth rang. Last life. She'd bragged post-kill. Loose ends tied. Sis. This. Backup plan. Contents.
Docs.
His real scams. Ponzi on widows.
Pre-bank.
Enough to rebury him. And you. Cleanish. My sin's yours now. Joint signature.
Pause.
Use it. For the kids' future. Mia and Max, college looming. Trusts I'd seeded from case fees. Leverage. I nodded.
Standing.
Thanks, Esther.
Soft. Sorry.
For the bullet. Ghost stirred. But I swallowed. Water under. Stay straight.
Out.
Sunlight blinding. Bank next, box 472. Dusty key turning secrets. Inside, ledger. Flash drive. Deed to a Jersey Beach shack. Untraceable asset. $300,000 value. Tim's play? Dead on arrival. I FedExed copies to his PO. Anonymous. Game over. The original fall guy. His panic call hit voicemail. Esther. Wait. Deleted. Feds revisited. His parole revoked. Back to stripes. Lila's letter followed. Free now? Kinda.
Yeah. Kinda.
Summer waned. Twins' birthday bash at the shore. Wildwood boardwalk. Cotton candy and coasters. Mia. 15. Pierced nose glinting. Hugged fierce. Love you. And us. You're the badass.
Max.
Coding whiz. Fist bumped. Saved the day. Again. Mom's ghost smiled from photo frames, her pie recipe etched in my journal. Business boomed, corporate espionage. Missing execs. One gig, tailing a senator's aide. Affair unraveling to bribes. Front page Inquirer. Philly PI exposes corruption ring. Spotlight chafed, reporters sniffing my past. I stonewalled. Just facts.
Folks.
Fall brought harvest moons. Cases cooling. Date night. Rare. A brew pub with Jake. Ex-cop turned bartender. Easy laugh lines. Your story's legend, he said over IPAs. Reborn or some shit? I clinked glasses. Something like. Winter hit hard, blizzards blanketing the city. My heater sputtering. Christmas Eve. Alone with takeout lo mein and a Charlie Brown tree. Phone buzzed, Mia. And us? Weird package. Mom's old stuff. Lila. Parole hearing granted. Compassionate release for rehab. Conditional. Monitored. Package. Letters. Photos. Us kids in foster rags. Grinning toothless. Note. For them. Tell my side someday.
I did.
Edited. Your mom fought dragons too. But lost. New Year's. Bridge again, fireworks popping. Jake's arm warm. To fresh starts. Secons, I corrected. Spring thawed secrets. Lila's supervised halfway in Allentown. Job at a diner. AA meetings. Visited once. Awkward coffee. Kids. Thriving. Neutral. She nodded. Stirring sugar endless. You won. No winners.
Truth.
Just survivors. Graduation season. Mia's cap and gown. Poli-sci bound for pen. Max's hackathon trophy. MIT scholarship. Speeches echoed my unsaid. From ashes. We rise. Lila came chaperoned. Distant. Hug stiff. But real. Proud. Girls. Post-party. Porch swing creaking. She and I alone. Esther.
The loop.
You said bullet.
How?
Dream slip. Therapy bait. Metaphor. Lie smooth. She searched my face. Then sighed. Whatever it was. Thanks for the reset. Chills. Intuition? Or echo? Summer solstice. My 40th. Beach trip. Bonfire crackling. Jake proposed. Ring simple.
Silver.
Second chances? Yes. Whispers. Waves crashing approval. Lila's card arrived. Happy rebirth.
Sis.
I framed it beside the twins' first drawings. Life's not fairy tale, scars itch in rain, grudges simmer low. But in this American grind, redemption's a hustle, claw, forgive, repeat. Twists end? No grand biopic. Just Esther Hale. Eyes on the horizon. Ghosts at peace.